Where's my audio? There it is. Dungeon. It was a pitch black room. There were no windows, and with the weak light bulb, one could just barely make out the state of things around them. It appeared to be an old, forgotten underground storage room, with some kind of dusty furniture haphazardly thrown into it. However, even with just a little light, one could at least make out that it probably wasn't a storage room. After all, that room was sealed off with iron bars. Where is this? You're here. Okay. What is that gonna do unless you run into statics, bro? It's what it's gonna do is that it's gonna make me so tired that I won't have energy to stream anymore because I need to run 2 days every week. I don't got that kind of energy. I'm cooked. It's over. No more. Oh my god, bro. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just saying. Tomato made his decision by inviting me. He had an ultimatum: Umineko or world first, and he picked the race. God.
I don't know. Could it be underneath the mansion? Has there always been a room like this directly underneath the dining hall?
They had dropped into what appeared to be a pit falling into this room. Therefore, it was natural to assume that this room was directly under the dining hall. Excuse me? Why did that sound exactly like the Valve intro to their game? Like, doom! I'm going insane. It's because I was playing Half-Life. I'm going insane. Rosalandri, I see. 1 minute long. Alright, let's see.
I stream. He's gonna play this audio on the stream. And I just wanna say, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, haha. I'm delaying the stream for a few seconds before I get out of the shower. After summer. I'm shitting. I'm shitting right now. Bing bang, bing bang, bing 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 bing. Also, Jerma streaming. Dude, Jerma is streaming right now. Hello? Like, what is this hate? Like, is he fucking for real right now? Like,
he's begging a lot for being a chooser right now. All right, that's all I can say. What does he want? He makes me so mad. All right, well, don't worry, Ruby Tomato. Don't worry, because I won't be able to stream anymore because of static. So you win. There you go. No more streams. No more streams whenever Jeremiah is streaming or whenever you're showering, because there won't be streams at all. There's neighbors blasting music outside. There you go. They're gone. Type that. Okay, we're back to the game. However, not even Kraus could bring himself to believe that there were pitfalls rigged in his beloved dining hall where he had enjoyed his meals for years, and that this dungeon-like room lay directly beneath it. But the ceiling above was of crude stone craftsmanship, and they couldn't understand how they could have fallen from somewhere up there. No, all 5 people who had been dropped here thought the same thing. Although they had the sensation of falling into a pit, there was no way there could be pitfalls in the dining hall, nor could this dungeon-like place be directly under it. But the truth was that they actually had fallen into this place and were locked in. So, they were confused.
It is lucky that no one was hurt after falling from such a height. Shannon, Karan, did either of you know about this room?
No, we did not know of this room either. Really? Really? We really don't know about a room like this. Despite their age, Kairi apparently wouldn't have found it odd if they, as servants allowed to wear the one-winged eagle, might know of the mansion's secret tricks. There was a long silence as if Kraus was evaluating their answer.
No, it's probably true that you don't know. After all, this is the clean freak Shannon we're talking about. If she knew about this room, she'd probably scrub this place until it was sparkling. The filth of this room is proof that you two don't know of it. More importantly, I think we should worry about what to do next.
Exactly! We need to call the police, or rather, administer first aid as soon as possible.
Nanjo's words were hollow. Obviously. 6 people had been killed in the dining hall. Everybody had seen the exact moment they'd been killed. And since half of their heads had been destroyed, anyone could tell that the deaths had been instant with just a single glance. Everyone understood that first aid no longer held any meaning. Thank you, Dr. Nanjo. We already understand that our partners are no longer alive. Thanks for trying to console us by mentioning first aid.
Naturally.
Once again, a gloomy silence dominated the atmosphere. But Kraus shook his head harshly over and over and for the time being decided to forget the pain of losing his wife and to dedicate himself to figuring out where they were.
Everyone, listen to me.
This is the Kraus episode? Okay, I'm okay with that.
Father is hopeless now. We've passed the point of searching for a reason or an explanation that can be expressed in words.
Nobody answered. 1 second. Okay. But nobody came. Without any kind of discussion or mercy, 6 people had been killed in an instant. And Kinso had even been so bold as to proclaim that we'd become sacrifices for a ceremony involving 13 murders, since we've been locked up in this place.
We too will probably become the ceremony's next sacrifices soon. Around this time, our eyes became used to the darkness, and bit by bit, we were able to understand more about the dungeon's interior. What we thought was furniture haphazardly left in the dungeon turned out to not be furniture at all. They were things like small cages to lock people in, restraints, or else torture racks. At any rate, it was obvious that it was eerier than a mere jail cell. As the objects were rusted together and coated in thick dust, there was no doubt that they had been forgotten. Maybe you could even call these things Kinso's sealed and forgotten madness. However, we had been locked away in this room. Those objects weren't exactly comforting to people who were locked up, hoping to be released without harm. At any rate, let's get out of here. We've lost loved ones and friends and would like to spend some time shedding tears. But more than that, I'm worried about the children.
I wonder if the children are safe.
All we can do is pray.
Okay, so again, I suspect Shannon, right? As like the super main right hand of Kinso. So, since Shannon is here, if nobody else dies, you know, just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. If nobody else dies while she is trapped in here, then, right? I was also suspecting Kraus. So Kraus being here also, right? Very interesting. But if someone does die while they are both trapped in here, then I can go back to suspecting Natsuhi.
Come to think of it, all we can do is pray. Come to think of it, Kumasawa and Goda aren't here.
Perhaps they were able to get away safely.
You never know. It would be a relief if they were able to meet up with the children.
When the going gets tough, Koda-san is reliable, and Kumasawa-san is knowledgeable and calm. I'm sure they'll be able to help the children.
Yes, that certainly would be comforting.
Shannon and Kraus smiled bitterly a little, but they quickly realized how improper that was and stopped clearing their throats. We can't be optimistic, Nessan. There's a chance they've already been attacked after we were. I agree. What Father carried out in the dining hall was the 6 murders of the first twilight from the witch's epitaph, right? Then, the second twilight is to tear apart the 2 who are close. We can't deny the possibility that Goda-san and Kumasawa-san may have been killed after escaping together. We can't cling to the optimistic idea that they must have gotten to the guest house and are protecting the children. Kairi coldly analyzed the worst-case scenario. For her, it was heartbreaking to have lost her beloved husband, but right now the most important thing was protecting that husband's son, along with the other children from becoming the insane family's head sacrifices. She overcame her sadness with the parental urge to protect the children from sorrow. It seemed that both Kairi and Kraus were strong enough to forget about their grief, if only for the time being. They would let their tears flow later. In order to protect the children, they had to act.
Anyway, let's get out of here. It seems to be a rather old cell. Couldn't we break the bars with something? Let's try searching the entire room for some way to escape.
I wonder if there are any torture tools lying around all these torture cages, that they might be useful as weapons or to break the bars. Kairi pulled a lighter from her pocket. She herself didn't smoke, but she kept one tucked away in her pocket to light Rudolph's cigarettes. It was an extremely valuable source of light for searching for this dim dungeon.
Shannon, help Kairi-san search the room. Kanon, you help me check out the bars. This is a very old cell. The bars could be loose.
What should I help with?
Please just keep up your strength. Father will probably come soon. You're the only one whose words will reach him. In a way, you might be holding our lives in your hands.
My words will no longer reach him, I think. I'm sorry, but I don't believe I will be of any use.
Then let us your expertise as a doctor. I wonder if there exists a drug that can make people instantly faint. A drug that makes people instantly faint? What are you talking about? We believe we fell through a pit and landed in this dungeon. In that panic-stricken moment, that was what we believed happened. But I measured the breadth of this room and came to a realization. This dungeon can't be underneath the dining hall. Why do you say that? You're an idiot, Nessan. Compared to the dining hall, this dungeon is too cramped. Exactly. The first person to fall was Kraus-san. The second was myself. When you fell into this room, did you move from that spot, Kraus-san?
It's embarrassing to say, but the landing hurt, so I lay there groaning in pain. Immediately after that, Kairi-san came crashing down next to me.
The distance between where we were standing and the place where we landed is clearly off.
Certainly, when you put it that way. I was the next to fall, so I remember fairly well where you two were standing. The distance between you two...
The distance between the two...
The distance between you two and the dining hall might have been greater than this entire room.
We fell into a pit and directly dropped down here. It's not like we fell into multiple interlocking pipes and we're all connected here. The fall was instant, wasn't it? I don't remember rolling around in some sort of elaborate water pipe system.
True, we can't explain it with a pitfall. What a strange tale.
What does that have to do with the drug that makes people instantly faint like Kairi-sama was talking about? Kairi-sama is probably thinking that there were no pitfalls in the dining hall, correct?
But in reality, we did fall.
More accurately, we fell as though we fell into pits. That was only natural. After all, we experienced something that couldn't be described any other way.
I see. In other words, this is what you want to say. We did not fall into pits. We were attacked with something like a blow dart, for example, and lost consciousness instantly. It could be that we just remembered from the instant we fell to the floor as though we were falling through a pit.
I see. That's a much more persuasive explanation than there being numerous pitfall traps in the dining hall that we've never noticed, even after decades eating there.
Listen. My god, you miss nothing. Nothing ever happens in this stupid game. You miss literally nothing. Whatever. I'm drinking water. Go back to Germa, bro. Nessan, do you have a watch?
Huh?
Huh. Obviously, before I made the connection of both their brooches being the same color and their eyes being the same color. Never mind. Okay, so I was saying that I've noticed that their brooches and eyes were the same color before, right? Since like episode 1. But what I just noticed is that their hair is also... Wait, I wasn't checking the hair and the character stuff. Yeah, their hair is also identical. Their roots are both on their right side. And it's practically the same length. And the other thing I was checking is I thought they had the same facial structure, but no, a lot of them share the same structure. That's not very unique. But the hair thing, that is unique. Why did it matter that their brooches and hair, not hair, but eyes were the same before in episode 1? Did I ever actually do anything with that? I was just using it to say that they might be related to Beatriz, right? But that's long gone. I don't really believe. Like, I think maybe some people could be related to Beatriz, like Eva is very similar. But the relation to Beatriz theory I kind of forgot about it. It's not really relevant. Like, I'm not denying it, but it's kind of like, don't really matter. I just left that in the past. So that's why Kanon and Shannon being similar never came up again. It's just... How far does this game want to take suspension of belief? Oh my gosh! They're the same height! I'm putting my finger on their heads and they're also the same height. Maybe? Kana might be a bit taller. I don't know. I don't think that's really relevant. No. The reason why my gears are turning is because I already believe that Shannon disguised herself as the 19th visitor during episode 2, right? I've said that a long time ago because of the thigh tattoo. So she has a knack for disguises. It's stupid, and I don't know if I would. I don't. Oh my gosh. Episode 3, when. No. That's. No. I wouldn't like it. No. Wait, I just. No. Because this is a floodgate I just opened, and it's pointless. It doesn't. There's a lot of things that come into. Okay. Just because of their hair roots, I'm beginning to think that there's a possibility they might be the same person. So all the instances where like other characters refer to, nothing is relevant. Yeah, refer to both of them like at the same time. That can be explained through, the fact that we can't really trust what they say, and it's just Butler writing the stories or whatever, whoever's doing that. The water books. Antenna mode activated. What is relevant? Is he going to eat some juicy steak right now? Let's go. I'm happy for you. So the problem with this is that this is opening in a lot of things that I'm not liking. So first off, the thing that made me neuron activate, that made a lot of sense, is during episode 3, where Jessica was trapped in the doctor room, and supposedly Shannon was trying to get in after killing Nanja, right? But then suddenly Jessica gets escorted by Kanon. So that could be explained by saying that they're the same person. So Shannon, oh my gosh, and Jessica was blindfolded. No! What does this change? This is too much. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. And I remember, like, way streams ago, I made, like, a joke or something about how Kanon uses shorts just perfect to cover up the tattoo. Okay. So that's why Jessica being blindfolded is relevant during that part. I was, like, so confused why her being blindfolded mattered at all. Because she was being escorted by Kanon, who was really Shannon, and she didn't like have time to dress up as Kanon or something. Okay. That also explains him being a boy. When I was, before way streams ago, I was saying, why would Kinsug adopt a male to become a Beatrice? He didn't. Yeah, what else? I was thinking something else. Crap, it was something. I had another neuron activation moment, like the Jessica part, but I don't remember it right now. Oh! It wasn't a neuron activation moment, it was just a what do I do now moment. Because if that's the case... So first off, this explains the deaths, the red deaths more better now. Whenever the red truth says that Shannon is dead and Kanon is dead, it means that whoever previously had those names are dead. But there's only one true person here. Whatever their real name... And that's why Kanon doesn't have a real name and Shannon does! I have not remembered Shannon's real name, by the way, ever since I forgot it. But that's why Kanon doesn't ever say his real name, because he doesn't have one, because his real name is Shannon's real name. Okay. So, right, I was going back to the dead. So, saying that Kanon is dead and Shannon is dead, it makes more sense because it means whoever had those names before are dead. Just like, it doesn't mean that they're dead on this island. It's just they died sometime in the past, and that's what the Red Truth is saying. But the person that's alive is whatever Shannon's real name. I hate that none of you ever tell me what her real name is. I've asked this like 50 million times. I don't care anymore. Shannon's real name, whoever that is the one that's alive. The problem here is that the Red Truth says there's 18 people on the island. So we're down one person. Which means there is still a chance that there is a real Beatrice on the island. How? Like, I already gave up that theory ages ago of the real Beatrice being here. I don't like that. So who is the 18th person? If it's not Kanon, if Kanon is just Shannon. We're missing someone, and I don't see how it could be relevant or who it could be. All this revealed is that there is a secret 18 person we don't know of. That could be the real Beatrice, but I don't like the existence of a real Beatrice anymore. I like Beatrice being a creation of all the Beatrices that died in Kuadorian. This changes so much. I need to like go back to every murder. I'm not doing it now. Whenever they come out on the story, that's when I'll do it. But the thing that's bothering me is that this tells us there's an actual other 18th person on the island. So what? Are they gonna say that Shannon is just like a super makeup artist or something? Which would help me a lot in explaining whenever I say bodies could be confused for other people, like I just did with Natsuki dying, but me saying that she could still be alive despite half of her face being seen to confirm that it's her. I don't care. Future problem. And there's still a chance that I could be wrong, right? Like, there's no actual concrete proof. It's just, there's a lot of coincidences, and the blindfold Jessica is just a killer. That thing just killed me. And that's the thing that confirmed it for me, that Jessica had to be blindfolded. Like, that's stupid. That's stupid. And it, okay. All because of hair roots, bro. That's the thing that I noticed while they were both their portraits were next to each other during that scene. I was like, huh, that's funny. Both their roots start on the right. And then I was like, wait, their hair length is kind of the same as well. Thematically, I really like this as well. Hopefully I don't go into any insensitive territory, but it makes sense to me. Whatever horrors real Shannon had to, gosh darn it, whatever her name is, whatever the real person who this is had to go through in Kuadorian with Kinso of being groomed to be the next Beatrice. It created like this other persona in her head, someone who is a man, because oh my gosh, Ryokishi Ainio, it's a man because she saw that being a woman just makes you into a tool for Kinso, just makes you into furniture, right? So this other persona was a man. So she could regain some of her control back in a way, I guess. Maybe like that's not the reason. I just cannot explain it. Like thematically, it makes sense that it would be a man, right? And then that is why Kanon is the one that is not good with understanding love, because he is this other. He is the personification of the Kuwadoria trauma. He is like the everything that broke in Kuwadorian became Kanon, and all the innocence stayed in Shannon, and that's why Shannon still has love in her heart and stuff. Interesting. I mean, there's too much now. I can't even say that there's a chance I could be wrong anymore. It's like, it's too thematically good, and there's way too many coincidences now. And the stupid blindfold. Oh my gosh, hi Phoenix. I've had a moment, that's for sure. I am under the impression, I mean, I'm sure you've seen an Umi Fuller now. I'm under the impression that there's a chance Kanon does not exist, and he is just another persona of Shannon. From Epi 2, name is Saya. Oh, thank you! Okay, Saya. I have no recollection of that name. You could be lying to me. I'm going to believe you because at least it gives me a name to use whenever I refer to the real person. I have no recollection of that name. So, yes. Sayo is the real 17th person on the island. Shannon and Kanon are not real people. Shannon and Kanon died who knows how long. Like, the real Shannon and Kanon died who knows how long, and that's why the Red Truth can say that they're dead. But Sayo is the one who goes around pretending to be Shannon, pretending to be Kanon, and pretending to be the 19th visitor. If not just pretending to be Beatrice in general. Which again leaves us with an 18 slot for an 18 mystery character we haven't met. The Red Truth says it's 18 people, so. This is very useful. Now we can use an extra body in all our theories. Okay. He's right. Her name is Bro. We phone that line. Okay. I'll believe. Okay. Like, it's okay. So again, I've been blaming Shannon this whole time, right, as the main culprit or whatever, the main weapon of Kinso. But like with this, it makes it seem like she's way more of a culprit than just being Kinso's slave. Like, she has a lot going on. And I'm not a real big fan of that, because the laptop's doing the noise again. Because I like Shannon, she's fine, but she's been a little bit nothing burgerish to me. So if she overshadows Kinso and being like the true killer or something, for now, for the Shannon that I know now, I would not be happy with that. But I'm sure as the reveal gets closer, Sayo will get more reasons for me to care about her. Okay. That's it. Let us play the game. I think I'm done. This frame is the one that started everything. I saw them next to each other. I was like, huh, her root starts here. Huh, his root starts here. Okay. Huh? Yes. I have a pocket watch. It's what, 22:40 o'clock. Yes. My watch says the same. In short, it's only been a bit more than 10 minutes since the uproar in the dining hall at most.
My watch says has the same time. That much too short a time to knock us out and carry us somewhere. Judging only from the time, it's reasonable to assume that we did fall through a hole landing directly underneath the dining hall.
They could have tampered with the watch hands as much as they wanted. While we were passed out, they may have won someone's watches back. I'm sure that's going to get red-truthed saying that nobody messed with the watches, and my explanation is just 10 minutes is short, but it's not that short if we consider that Shannon, Kinsa, I'm gonna put Kumasawa as well, Kumasawa, maybe. And maybe Genji, because his death hasn't been confirmed. He might have killed himself after. Helped to move everyone down here, right? 10 minutes wouldn't be that long. If it was just one person, then sure. We're incapable of proving that this possibility doesn't exist.
Whether it was a pitfall or a drug that induces fainting, it does not change the fact that we need to be on guard.
Well then, Dr. Nanjo. Is there a drug that can do that?
Well, it's the same as your reasoning, Kairi-san. I cannot prove that there isn't a drug with that effect that I don't know about.
As they say, you can never be too careful. Sorry, that was a useless question. I just thought that with my hypothesis, I could suggest that this dungeon might not necessarily be directly underneath the dining hall.
I see. There's always a possibility that we were carried off to the hidden mansion they say father built in the middle of the forest. If we can escape from here and go outside, then we'll know. We'll save worrying about that until after we get out.
Exactly. I'm truly sorry. I've only been asking about and prying into useless things.
No, it's quite promising. If you notice anything else, please tell us. It might become a hint to escaping from here. Rudolph was always talking about you. He said he was always surprised by your ideas, and they would sometimes give him valuable hints. The fact that you're here is a blessing within a tragedy.
Thank you. I learned something from Rudolph as well. He said that you usually just swagger about, but when things get serious, you overflow with a sense of responsibility and can be a very dependable older brother.
That is too kind. Damn it. At any rate, these iron bars won't even budge. How are things on your end, Kanon?
No, this side is no better. Kraus and Kanon tried wiggling the bars in various ways. There were a few bars that could be twisted, and a few had enough space to rattle a little bit around it, but they couldn't be broken with human strength alone. However, there was still hope if they could use some kind of lever-like tool. It was still far too early to give up yet. The children's lives were hanging in the balance. Even if there was no hope, they couldn't stop their struggle. And it was better for them to act this way. If they were to stop, there's no doubt they'd once again be overcome by the grief of losing their loved ones and curl up clutching their knees.
How are you doing, Kairi-san? Find anything?
I found some small stones that could hold onto and hide. Something like this could probably be used as a weapon, though it'll probably be impossible to whittle down these iron bars with them. How about you, Shannon-chan? No, nothing. This is a phone. I doubt it's connected. But we might be able to use the cord from and form some form of string-based weapon. If we break it, we can take out the metal parts. Krasny-san, there's a hole for opening the bars, right?
Yes. It's a pretty large hole, quite old-fashioned. If we twist some wire into it, we might just be able to pick it.
We might be able to use the metal parts of the phone as a substitute for something. This phone will become our weapon. Oh, I need to get my battery charger. BRB. We're back. Sorry for taking so long. It's just like
It's just like investigating. Our weapon is information.
Kuros and Kairi laughed together at how they hadn't even thought of using the phone as a means of communication. What are you doing, Esan? I just wondered if maybe the phone was working. You dummy, Esan. Huh? What? At that point, Shannon let out a small surprised cry. Kairi-sama! This phone is connected. What did you say? It was like when people move out of an office, taking everything with them, leaving only the telephone behind. That was the feeling the phone gave off, having been left in the corner of the cell. This cord was wound into a coil, and the tip of it being swallowed by the wall. And just looking at it, there was no reason to assume that it wasn't hooked up, but to think that it actually was. Katie took the receiver from Shannon and pressed it to her ear. Certainly the electric hum of a phone was a familiar sound, and this phone was certainly live.
What good luck! Let's contact the police!
Hold on. This is too good to be true. Could it be bugged?
Rhythm Doctor, because Nanja's on the screen. Ah! If they were planning to a trick like that, normally they would cut the telephone line. There's actually a good possibility that they overlooked this. If they noticed, they might actually cut the line this time. There's nothing we can tell the police that would be problematic for us if they overheard. Surely that was true. The point of a wiretap is to overhear some important piece of information. But the way things were right there, she couldn't think of a single thing that could come up in a conversation to the outside world that might be troublesome to have heard. Kairi instantly concluded that it was most likely to be a mistake on Kinzo's part than a trap.
You do have a point. I believe you start with the zero to make calls to the external line.
Kanon-kun, I'm going to make a phone call, so will you watch how things are from out there for me? If you send somebody coming, let me know. Yes. Kanon raced off towards the iron bar, silenced his breathing and strained his ears. As everyone present watched her, Kairi dialed 110. However, she pushed the hook down and redialed many times. It didn't seem to be working very well. The outside line begins at 0. 110 would be 0110 then, right? It doesn't seem to want to go through.
Hand it over here, I'll try to call.
1 second. Wow, this song is good. Okay, I'm back.
Hand it over here, I'll try to call.
Kraus took the receiver in Kairi's place and tested various things. But in the end, they were unable to notify the police. The phone itself was definitely live, but the circuit was apparently cut somewhere. Did this mean that they were not so naive? What's use after all? Wait. No way they're doing this right now. No, that wouldn't make sense. The thing that I was thinking is that Kanon found the phone working and whispered that to Shannon, and they're the ones that messed with the phone afterwards. But then why point it out, right? I don't know. It means our enemies aren't naive either. Huh. Kairi let out a deep sigh, leaned against the wall, and hung her head for a while. As cool thinking as she was, for a brief moment she may actually have had the naive hope that the phone might actually work. She sneered at herself mockingly for holding on to that naive hope for even a single moment. Then she remembered just what was happening here. Truth be told, even after being showed a series like that right before her eyes, or rather exactly because of that, she still couldn't think of that gruesome mass murder as something real. It was less that she couldn't believe it and more that she didn't want to. stupid fiction. That's the name of the song. Ushirimiya Kinso killed 6 family members. He summoned strange witch-like, demon-like people right out of thin air, and with something like magic began to kill people one after another. It's just all so screwed up. Even though she definitely saw it, there was no way she could accept that spectacle. There's no way that's what happened. Those were obviously father's friends or something. They just hid somewhere in the dining hall beforehand and used some tricks to appear suddenly and fool us. There was no other way to explain something that screwed up as that. But when those 6 had their heads blown apart, a golden arrow had flown around and around the room. It had truly looked like magic. Was that the only thing we just saw wrong? There was no way it was magic. It was definitely some kind of setup. Since those heads were smashed, there was no doubt that it was some kind of explosive. For example, a styrene toy plane like they sell at candy stores painted gold, and with a powerful explosive loaded onto the end of it. However, though it had seemed to be flying about at random, Kairi couldn't imagine that after being fired 6 times, each time it perfectly hit the victim square in the head, one after another. It couldn't be that there was a computer control system for finding and hitting targets, making it a high-tech styrene plane on the same level as a guided missile, right? Would he invest such a large amount of money into developing some stupid trick like that? For that insane science show? Does this take us back to the old I wouldn't put it past father? A number of mysterious people appeared out of thin air. 6 people had their heads demolished by a mysterious golden flying object. And the 5 of us were locked away in the mysterious dungeon by a mysterious set of pitfalls, or else put to sleep by some fainting poison dart. The family conference started a bit after 22 o'clock. It's only been a bit more than 30 minutes since then. Most likely, even though I witnessed it myself. That event took place in such a short period of time, so I couldn't understand it, and I still can't come to grips with it. For argument's sake, even if we did get a hold of a police, it would probably be impossible for anyone to accurately explain what we saw. Even though I saw it just now, my brain's fried, and I have no confidence in what I saw myself. Kairi tried her hardest to cheer herself out of her overwhelming confusion to just hold onto their sanity.
Damn it! What's going on here? Damn it! Damn it!
Kraus started to become desperate, hitting the hook multiple times and resetting the dial. Kraus had also been feigning composure, but he was unable to hide the panic. The more he retired the dial, the more the pretense of serenity peeled away. I don't know what's going on anymore. Kairi couldn't help but pray that the events had just occurred were a dream. At that time, the look on Kraus's face changed.
I got through! I got through! It's ringing!
Really, Kraus-san?
I see. How shallow, man. Since we can't contact the police, the external line was probably been cut, but he failed to sever the internal line.
The internal line? Kraus-san, where did you call?
The guest house. I'm calling the room where Jessica and the rest are staying. Hello? Hello? It's me! You! Koda? Is Jessica there? Is she safe?
Kraus-sama! I'm so glad you're safe. Yes! Lady Jessica and the other children are here as well, safe and unharmed.
Dad! Is it Dad? I'm so glad you're okay. Is Mom okay? Is she there? Kraus choked on his words. Kraus had clearly seen Natsui's head crush, had seen her killed right before his eyes. Eventually, he was going to have to tell that to Jessica. However, Kraus began to fret over whether he should tell her now or not, and lost his words. But even that was an answer under these circumstances.
I don't know about your mother. Let's pray for her safety. For now, I'm just glad we're safe.
Yeah, I understand. I'm sorry for asking. Jessica's voice was filled with tears. Kraus was certain now. Jessica and the rest had heard everything, start to finish, after meeting up with Goda and Kosawa at the guest house. When they learned that 6 people had been killed, they must have been anxious to rush over to the dining hall. Luckily, he had been able to call before they stormed off towards the mansion. Karas was relieved at this good timing during such a tragedy.
We have Kairi, Sunny, Dr. Nanjo, as well as Shannon and Kanon here. We've been locked in a place that's like a dungeon, but don't worry. We'll figure something out.
A dungeon? Where? We'll come and save you.
Unfortunately, we can't figure out where this is either. We think it may be under the dining hall, but that might not be true. Anyway, Jessica, you must stay where you are. You've heard about what happened from Godan and Kurosama, yes?
Yeah. Grandfather, he killed everyone.
Grandfather is in a sane state of mind right now. If you encounter him, you'll be in danger. You might be killed. You mustn't even think about trying to come and save us. We'll take care of ourselves.
Then what should we do? Damn you, Grandfather! How dare you do that to Mom and the rest? I'm going to kill that undying bastard!
Jessica, if you talk like that, you'll sadden your mother. Those aren't the words of a lady. Anyway, put your own safety first. Lock all the guest house doors, but you mustn't overestimate how safe that will make you. The large window in the first floor lounge might get broken. Stay in a room and use a bed to make a barricade. There's a toilet and a fridge in there too, right? You should be able to stay holed up until tomorrow morning. Listen up, I'll say it again. Don't think of doing anything violent. Don't even think about trying to take revenge for Mom. Only think of hiding, of getting through this without provoking our enemies.
Yeah. I understand, Dad.
After that, Godan took the phone and was firmly told to supervise the kids as an adult. Godan, with his face covered in the cold sweat, repeatedly replied, "Yes, sir! Yes, sir!" in an exceedingly tense voice. From there, Kairi took the receiver and spoke with Butler, and when Shannon and Kanon got their turns, George and Jessica answered. Following that pattern, Nanjo and Kumasawa picked up as well, so that all members of both sides took the receiver in turn, confirming that everyone was safe for now, even if their location was unknown, and encouraging each other, coming to an understanding of the absurd and current situation for both sides. They wanted to talk forever, but now was not the time to chat. Karaos explained that they would be hanging up for now, and those in the guest house consented.
If anything happens, we'll call. Wait by the phone so you can pick it up quickly. Again, be careful. You mustn't do anything rash. Don't be rash.
Yeah, I understand. As long as you and Kanan-kun and the others are okay, then that's good enough for me. We'll do our best. Stay safe.
Yes, of course. Well then, I'm hanging up for now. Be on your guard.
With that, the phone call ended. Godan and the rest of the men quickly descended to the first floor, closed the shutters and secured the sturdy doors, locks on the doors. However, just as Karaos had worried, there was nothing that could be done about that beautiful wide window on the first floor lounge. If someone broke that, it would be easy to get inside. It wouldn't be hard for someone like Kinso, who hadn't hesitated at committing murder, to invade the first floor. It's likely the grandfather and his followers would be armed. Locking ourselves in our room is our best bet, and moreover our only method of forming a barricade. It's painful that we have no choice but to hold up in a sealed room, but if our enemies are carrying guns, then that's the only method we have left to us.
I have heard that the master has a collection of working guns. That's right, guns. That was a gun. If so, it must have been a horribly powerful gun. We can't contend with that at all.
It takes a lot of force to smash someone's head open, right? So it must be a magnum bullet or something like that. That'll probably go through a flimsy door like it was nothing. If so, then that's even more of a reason to hold out in our room. Let's light up bed in place and block the window too. If we do that much, then no matter how many guns they've got, they shouldn't be able to raid us. Crap! What we can do is this passive one-sided defense? Damn it! Dealing a finishing blow to Dad and even capturing Kairi. That's gonna cost you, you damn geezer!
Impossible! There's no way we can compete with them. Besides, it's not like just the master. He has the underlings too. There might be even more of them. Just what are they?
Butler was filled to the brim with the urge to get revenge for Rudolph. and to rush out there to save Kairi. But just by looking at how terrified Goda was, there was no doubt in him that that would be reckless. It's going to be hard for you too, right, Aniki? And yet, you've got to stay holed up here. Damn it. Of course, I'm torn up about it too. It's not like I can remain calm with both of our parents murdered. But specifically because of that, I have to remain calm. Do you think our dead parents would want us to die in vain? There's no way, and they would. They want for us to... They want for at least their children to escape. So I will survive. And I'll report this to the police and uncover everything. I'll lead my enemies to the courts. That is my revenge. There's no way our parents would want us to die taking revenge for them. Right? You're right. No, it's just as you said. Damn it! You bastard! What about this ceremony? If we're supposed to be sacrificed for something like that, then we'll escape no matter what it takes, ruining this precious ritual of yours! That's right. Besides, we still have Kairi-san, Butler-kun. And I still have Shannon. Anyway, let's be cautious and wait for our chance. Any careless actions on our part might just end up causing them harm to those who have been captured. Hostages, huh? But grandfather captured them so he could use them as sacrifices, right? If we don't go and save them, then we are just waiting for them to be killed. We don't even know where the dungeon they're being held in is. Shannon and Kanon-kun didn't know about it, and of course Goda-san and Kumasawa-san don't know either. The possibility that they're in a secret location that only grandfather knows of is incredibly high. Under these circumstances, aimlessly wandering about would be practically suicidal. I understand. But still... Damn it! Are you saying the only thing we can do is stay confined here until something happens?
But, I understand how you feel, but let's put safety first. From what Kurao-sama said, they seem to be in a fairly old cell, and may be able to break the bars somehow. The wise choice of action now is to believe in them and wait.
Grandfather has a number of subordinates, and they're all armed, correct?
Yes, he does. And they're probably all armed.
Goda had been able to say that Kinso had comrades with him, but he hadn't been able to mention that they were mostly young women like witches who had used strange magic to murder. If he had said that, it would only have cast doubt on his sanity. No doubt that he himself didn't understand what he had seen and was doubting his own sanity. But regardless of sex or appearance, regardless of whether it was done with magic or gun, the fact that those girls had followed Kinso's orders and killed 6 people in an instant was an unshakable truth. If that group came to attack the guest house as well, what would happen? Just closing the doors and windows like this is surely meaningless. Goda and Kumasawa. The only thing left for those two who had witnessed that massacre in the dining hall was to cradle their heads without knowing how to interpret what they had seen.
Kumasawa-san, are you okay? I want some tea.
Thank you very much, thank you.
I'm sorry, but may I be left with my thoughts for a little while?
Maria tried to be nice, but it seemed like Kumasawa still hadn't been able to clear away her confusion. Maria, thanks for being so considerate. Let's let Kumasawa-san rest for now. Shizuka was also worried about the shock those two must have received after witnessing such a tragedy, but her wildest dreams couldn't even come close to the unbelievable scene Kumasawa had witnessed. Nevertheless, with her mother on murder and her father captured, it wasn't as though Jessica could stay calm either. She sealed her anxiety and sadness using her anger towards Kinso and walked irritatedly around the room. Kumasawa-san, is Mom really dead?
Yes. I've never seen such a horrible way to die before.
It's not possible that she's still alive, and that if we fixed her up, we could save her.
It's not possible for a person to have something like that done to their head and live.
Yeah, you're right. there's no need for first aid. Once your head's smashed, usually. When Goda had come flying into the guest house, he had overcome with agitation and told about the massacre in the dining hall without except for the part about witches and magics, which they themselves still couldn't believe. In other words, he hadn't even sugarcoated the cold-blooded way in which Natsuki and the others had died. It was too late now, but Kumasawa regretted the fact that they obviously said too much. However, while lightly shaking her head and with a slightly painful laugh, Jessica spoke. Actually, thanks to what you told us, I was able to stay level-headed. If you avoided mentioning that part about her head being smashed, I would have thought that she must still be alive. Then I would have run off towards the mansion, met her grandfather, and I might have been killed. That sliver of hope could have been fatal in the end. So, I'm grateful.
I am truly sorry. I'm so sorry we didn't choose our words more carefully.
Don't worry about that now. There's nothing we can do for Bond, but that's still alive. Kanon Kunin Shannon and Aunt Kairi and Dr. Nanjutsu. Excuse me. I want to save them somehow, so we shouldn't do anything unnecessary that might make things worse for them. The most helpful thing we can do right now might be to wait by the phone. They might receive a phone call asking for them to create a diversion where the others escape, or the others might discover the location and call for rescue. Jessica understood that in order to act promptly when the time came, the only thing they could do for the time being was to wait in this room. Once they had finished inspecting the downstairs area and locking up, George, Butler, and Goda returned. Each was holding various objects. George had things like drinks, canned food, crackers, and other types of snacks he had found in the lounge and a storage room, as well as a first aid kit. They were all consumables that would be essential during a siege. Goda had a large folding ladder and carpentry tools. Those were to seal the door from the inside just in case. If it came to it, the ladder was for escaping out the window. Butler had brought up objects that could be used as edged weapons or poles. In addition to the obvious kitchen knife, there was a disassembled... The song just reminds me of that scene. She can't be nothing burger. She can't be nothing burger. She can't be nothing burger. Everything that happened in episode 1, there was so much. She'll come back. In addition to the obvious kitchen knife, there was a disassembled table leg that could be used as a club, and a pole roughly the size of a person, which he'd apparently made by taking apart a hat stand. Even though the pole had no point, it could surely be used as a spear. There was a good chance that their enemies had guns, so it was dubious whether these would be of any use. But it was still better than not having them, and if having these could give them at least a little peace of mind, then they'd be useful for their calming effect. The bed and sofa were placed against the door, barricading it. They didn't go so far as to seal it up with nails. There was still a chance that Kraus and the others could escape and come to meet up with them. They had apparently set up a barricade on top of the stairs as well, and had been set up in a way that would create a racket so it could serve as a warning alarm as well. They had apparently been Butler's idea. For that reason, they turned the TV off. That way, if the first floor window were to be broken, they would hear. Once the switch had been turned, all that was left was an eerie silence. The sound of violent wind and rain. Were they going to have to spend the whole night being crushed by such suspense? The boat would come tomorrow morning. However, judging by the weather report, most of the tomorrow was going to be covered in the typhoon, and the boat probably wouldn't come. The typhoon was set to pass in the morning of the day after tomorrow. In other words, the boat would be arriving in the morning after next. The morning of October 6th. The boat would arrive when the seagulls cry. And right now, it was late at night on October 4th. They would have to spend more than 30 hours in this island, with Kinsel turned into cold-blooded murderer with his weird companions prowling about. Even with the shutters closed, there would definitely be a little bit of light seeping out, It might let the enemy know where they were hiding here. Butler suggested that they might be best to turn off the lights, but they had already been overwhelmed by the ghastly feeling just by turning off the TV. There wasn't anyone who directly challenged the proposal, but then again, there wasn't a single other person who agreed with it.
We can't watch TV.
Yeah, sorry, but you have to bear with it. We can't just let the sound of the enemy breaking in slip by.
Boring.
Even though she had been told of her mother's death, Maria alone didn't feel an approaching sense of danger. She just seemed to be upset that the TV had been turned off. Even though she's in such a bizarre situation, can she not share in our sense of danger? Is it because she's so young? To Butler, even this faintly unsettling feeling from such a young girl made him sense that there was something very eerie about Maria. That said, we already done all we can. Do you think you'll be able to do anything about the bars?
Unfortunately, they're tougher than expected. I don't know where these were made, but there's no problem with their lifetime guarantee. These truly were built rather well.
Kairi chuckled softly. They had no moves they could make, but she had calmed just a little.
This place is just like the capture pile of a chess game. So, are there no remaining moves left for us?
Not yet. It's still too early to give up. If we stop thinking, we might as well stop breathing, right?
Exactly. Chess pieces in the capture pile may serve no purpose, but as shogi, they can be quite significant. Just one captured pawn could be able to put pressure on the opponent.
I see. But still, there's nothing that can be done about these bars.
For us, maybe. But if we can figure out where this is and contact Goda-san, he might be able to come and save us.
I see. But that would mean putting Goda-san in danger. And if that happens, I would also be worried about the children in the guest house alone without a full-grown adult male.
When you're afraid of risk, it's alright to buy your time until the price starts to go up. However, if you're too afraid to cut your losses, you might end up with just a scrap of paper. Though in this case, that represents our lives.
Thanks for explaining. And our dignity as parents, right? After talking big like that during the telephone call, telling them that they should behave because we'll manage something on our own, we can't just start asking for help right away. That would be very uncool.
By this point, I've long since thrown out such useless pride. Why do we put our heads together? Where is this? Is it really underneath the dining hall? Or else is it at a different place separate from the mansion?
Kraus, Kairi, and Anja began to discuss this further. Kanon was squatting by the bars, silently trying to sense anyone's presence, just as he had been ordered. Shannon came close to him and they both squatted down together.
Do you sense anyone?
Yes. They haven't focused their attention in this direction, but there's somebody relatively close by.
Is it human?
I think it's the goats. Their breathing is rather noisy. Kanon's ability to sense the presence of others was several levels above that of a human. He said that their breathing was noisy, but Kraus and the rest couldn't even pick up the slightest hint of it. Therefore, he had obediently reported it. They would have merely doubted Kanon's ears.
They've caught us, didn't they?
It's rare to think they captured us without killing us.
This time, Valkyrie-sama didn't make an appearance, and the master left the study. I don't have a clue what's going on.
I know. Whatever happens or changes, it's all for that witch's fickle entertainment. In the end, nothing will change.
I wonder if we'll be able to go to the Golden Lamp this time.
Who knows? We have a high rate of losing.
Come to think of it, it's very rare for us to survive the first tournament together. I get the feeling that it's incredibly unusual for us to be able to talk together like this, even though the ceremony has already begun.
That may be so. But even that's just for the witch's entertainment, I'll bet. I can't think of it as anything other than her letting us live just a little longer to ridicule us, since we usually drop out right at the beginning.
I wonder if we'll be able to reach the Golden Line again.
I'm sure we won't make it there. If we hold on to any foolish hope, we'll get taken advantage of again.
That's right, that's right. Last time you got taken advantage of, didn't you?
I am an idiot. Kanan made a sour look and turned his head. Shannon laughed softly and apologetically leaned towards his shoulder.
But I'm glad milady is safe.
She's only escaped from the first twilight. She might just be waiting for an even cooler death later on. What about you, Nessan? Aren't you glad George-sama is safe? It'd be nice if you two could reach the Golden Land together.
Thank you. I wish the same for you and milady as well.
I wasn't hoping for anything like that. It's just as you say. The witch is only having fun, dangling prizes in front of people and watching them vainly try to get them. I'm sure no one will be able to go to the Golden Land. If I wish to reach the Golden Land with my lady, then that person will find it funny and will certainly never let us reach that place.
You're right. Beatrice-sama is thinking about which order of sacrifices will be the most interesting.
The whole thing about them being chosen at random is just a blatant lie. That swindling witch. All that about having any wish you want granted in the Golden Land is supposedly just a lie too.
That's not true. The Golden Land is a wonderful place.
Have you been there?
Only for a little bit. Though, even that was probably just a joke about Beatrice-sama.
What's it like there?
Well, it's a wonderful place. I can't really explain it well. It's like a world from a pleasant dream.
A paradise-like place, with rose blooming all over and beautiful butterflies dancing about, or something like that. Oops, sorry. I moved something by accident. Oh, this song.
Is that a place with a tangible image like that? It's really like the inside of a dream. When you're there, it's very gentle, very peaceful. And you're allowed to sleep for as long as you want, like when you wake up early on a day off lying on a futon. Sunlight comes in through the cracks in the curtains, and you think you'll have to wake up soon. But then you realize it's your day off, and you can go back to sleep. It's a place where you can feel like that.
I think it'd be wasted on me. Waking up on accident even though it's your day off is something only you would do, Nessan. So?
Well, when I was there, I was very satisfied and very calm. When I returned to this world, even though I had just been there for a second ago, I couldn't remember it well. It's like when you can't remember a dream you were just having. But I still remembered that it was a very calm and quiet world.
That's it? What the heck? The Golden Land just always bragging about isn't anything great at all. I thought it was a place where all your wishes come true.
That's right. It's a place where all your wishes will be granted. Well, maybe that's not quite it. It might be better to say it's a place where you won't wish for anything. For example, Kanan-kun, if you were cold and wished you had a jacket, you'd be happy to be given one. But if you were in a warm room to begin with, there wouldn't be any reason to want a jacket, right? That's what the Golden Land feels like. There's no need to even wish for most wishes. It's a world where everything is calm. You could even say it's a place that transcends the concept of the concept that having your wishes granted will bring happiness, a world released from everything.
It sounds somewhat like a religious world.
And there, everything is equal. Anything that can think is equal. There's no humans, furniture, nor witches. There, it was equal to everyone. There was no longer any need to feel ashamed that I was furniture. It was honestly a happy world where all humans and even witches were equal. I can't really remember it well, but I have the feeling that when I was there, I was equal even to Beatrice-sama, and we were good friends.
With the witches there, that can't be much of a paradise. So you want to go to the Golden Land with George-sama? How strange. The Golden Land is a utopia where you can be pleased with everything, right? Wouldn't you be content even if George-sama wasn't there?
The Golden Land is very calm, peaceful, and everything is equal. But actually, happiness alone is left out.
It isn't a happy world?
Of course, just by being peaceful, calm, and equal, it is an incredibly happy world. But I guess you could say that it's a world of zero, where you release from all negative worries. The human world is filled with negatives, so of course a zero world is incredibly happy, but it's still zero. What a luxurious problem to have. It's something like this. When you're nodding off on your quiet, lonely holiday morning, if the person you love the most is next to you and holding your hand, then it can become an even greater, more wonderful happiness. Something like that. Sorry, your Nesson is too dumb to be any good at analogies.
In other words, to you, the greatest happiness would be reaching that world together with Joro-sama.
Yeah. And surely for you, it would be reaching that world together with Milady.
We'll be released from our worries in a fair world. It's like some kind of strange religion. I'm more worldly minded. I imagine a world where we would be given some magic medicine and we could be reborn as humans or something like that.
If you go, you'll understand. If Beatrice-sama really is a fickle person, then surely someday she'll let you get a glimpse of it too. If so, then you'll be able to understand my analogy.
Huh. Well, I'm not holding my breath. At any rate, it seems like game over for us this time already. I'll hope for another chance.
You're right. If we cling to any over-ambitious hopes, Beatrice-sama would take advantage of us. It might be best to just stop thinking and let fate take care of us.
We can just be simple chess pieces. No matter what we think or don't think, we can't escape from the witch's chessboard. Our role is now just to wait and see how we'll be tortured to death. For us, the dream of the Golden Land is too empty.
You're right. Sorry.
Kanon shrugged his shoulders, then told Shannon to leave him alone because she was in the way of his duty, distancing himself from her. Realizing her thoughtlessness in bringing up such an inappropriate topic and instead hurting Kanon, Shannon bit her lower lip and stared at the ground. Shannon wouldn't bother him anymore. She went off and crouched down in a corner by herself. At that moment, Kanon perked up. It was like the ears of a cat when it reacts to a strange sound.
What's wrong?
Shh! Kirao-sama, someone's coming.
What?
They ended the conversation and strained their ears. For a while, they couldn't hear anything, but eventually they were able to hear the shuffling sounds of a large group of people walking. Gulp? So they've come?
Try to play the piper, or perhaps this is our first and last chance.
I should talk to Kenzo-san. I will try to somehow find out where this place is.
We're counting on you. During the last phone call, Kairi had asked what the time over at the guest house was. By doing that, Kairi had learned that it was the same as her watch, and she had learned that their watches hadn't been sent back. It wasn't just the clocks on the walls in the guest house. Several people's watches, including George and Joda's, had matched. If that was the case, then it had only been a few minutes between the time of the massacre in the dining hall and the time they had been transported to the dungeon. Not enough time had passed for them to be knocked out and carried away. Then were those really pitfalls, meaning that this was the area directly under the dining hall? All that they could do was pray that Nanjo could find out where this was. They're coming. There's probably 4 people. The master, and 3 of those who appeared at the dining hall.
That's enough. You come back here as well. We'll deal with the rest.
Shannon-chan, sorry, but can I have you sit by the phones? Hide it with your skirts.
Yes!
Cool cutscene, very awesome. The shuffling came close, and there was the sound of a large door being opened in the hallway. The light they were apparently carrying illuminated the hall, stroking the walls with sharp razor-like shadows. And then the light from the lantern they held illuminated the prisoners through the bars. The bar's sharp shadows divided them up lengthwise. There were 4 silhouettes. It was Kinson, Ronove, Virgilia, and Gap. So here's the thing. The true furniture, like the bunnies and the stakes, as far as I know, they don't have a counterpart. Cookies. But the demons and witches do have counterparts, according to me. You know, Virgilia is Kumasawa, Ronove is Genji. So we can say that Kumasawa and Genji are the ones that are down here with Kinso right now. So who is Gap? So whoever the counterpart for Gap is, that could be our missing 18th person. Perhaps.
Silence, everyone. Please welcome the head of the Ushinoya family, Lord Goldsmith.
Goldsmith?
His father's pet name. It seems he always sighs with it when he's writing those bizarre grimoires.
Kinso made English style. Shouldn't that be Gold Warehouse?
What more is a warehouse than a place to keep things in? However, I give birth to gold and use my craftsmanship to further increase its worth. Don't you think Smith is much more fitting?
True enough. I apologize for butting in.
Kinzo-san, just what is going on? Where in the world is this?
Oh, my friend, can you remember? True, you may have never entered the prison, but you should remember walking through this corridor.
Huh? You don't mean...
Do you have an idea?
But, well, it is unthinkable. Firstly, we fell through a pitfall and were locked up in here after only a few minutes. Not only is the distance too great, that's physically impossible.
For a human, right?
Father, is this the mansion? To think that the mansion had a basement like this. Kraus! Wasn't there a place whose existence you all whispered of, and which you followed after me several times trying to find? This is that place. No, to be correct, this is its basement.
Okay, so torture devices and a dungeon is in the basement of Kuwadorian. Yeah, man, we gotta castrate Kinso. We just gotta throw him into a volcano. This is wow.
This place couldn't be the basement of Kuwadorian!
A splendid observation. This is indeed the basement of Kuwadorian. Kuwadorian? You don't mean father's rumored hidden mansion. It really exists. This mansion was constructed by the sole use of my beloved witch Beatrice. It's truly a shame that I cannot guide you to the above ground sections, as it is such a beautiful and elegant mansion.
How lovely. Just the two of them alone in a mansion with a prison like this. I guess father's tastes are a bit more than I can stomach.
Kairi-san, perhaps it would be wiser to refrain from such a rude comment.
But I agree. If a mansion I was given had this kind of dungeon in it, that'd shake me out of even a century-long love, and I'll take anything of value and run.
Oh my, so you don't have an interest in this kind of thing? And here I was thinking you had head over heels for it.
Of course I go head over heels. Like if I get a collar or something for a birthday present. But only if he saw it.
Silence! Perhaps you could use a gag more than a collar right now.
Oh? Have you an interest in that too? You sure aren't picky, Leah.
Don't go around shortening people's names on your own!
Enough, you noisy women! Are you telling me you like to be locked up in the same cell?
I apologize, Master. This old body of mine would not be able to stand such a cold prison.
Virgilia quickly apologized, but Gap and Ronome merely laughed together. It was like they thought they alone couldn't be imprisoned, or else that even if someone tried to imprison them, it would be pointless.
A prison is a place from which the captured cannot escape. That implies a strong will and love to not let them go for a lifetime. It's not even worth speaking of love to a woman you could give up on if she ran away. A woman who makes you so insane that you don't want to let her escape to the point of binding her in chains. Because she was worthy of that, she was a love worth sacrificing my life for. I want to ask you to understand.
No one can bind me. I will not be bound. I don't want to be loved. I want to love. I feel the same as Goldsmith. That's why I understand the madness of your love.
Love and madness are two sides of the same coin, or so they say. How bothersome.
But learning that we are so easily... What? But learning where we are so easily was a big step. We'll ask the details later, but it seems you know about this place, right, Dr. Nanjo? Yes. If that hallway is the underground passage beneath Kuadorian, then we go straight down it. It will become a large tunnel. And if we stay on that, we should be able to return to the mansion. And if we could just do something about these bars, we could go home.
Father, what are you planning to do with us? As I have already declared, you will become sacrifices for the later twilight. There are conveniently 5 people here. Exactly enough hostages for the 5 gougings. I see. Then it's time for us to pay the piper. Eventually. That's not why I've come to visit you this time, so relax. Besides, I believe I have said it already. If one of my grandchildren is deemed suitable to inherit everything from me, then the ceremony will be called off. In other words, your lives will be spared.
What are you planning to do with the children?
I shall give them a test, to test if they are suitable to be a successor or not. If even one of them gets to surprise me, I'll call the ceremony off. And if there isn't anyone suitable, what are you planning on doing with the children? There's no need to worry about that. After all, you all will be sacrificed first. How could anything that happens after that concern you? Entrust your fates to your own children. Your children, the embodiment of what you have born, taught, and raised. They should be the most suitable ones for you to entrust with your fates. Don't look so worried, crows. Believe in the daughter that you brag is worth 10 billion yen.
Exactly. Children are the embodiment of their parents. It's fitting that we put our fates in their hands. That applies even to you, Father, right?
This girl has guts. What a waste on Rudolph.
Kaiser, it would be best to aggravate him too much.
I agree. Let's bear with it for now.
That's right. After all, we're just fish on the chopping board. There's nothing we can do for now.
Ha! Though you can insult me with such vigor, I don't dislike the kind of woman you see. Beatrice was like that too in the beginning.
Master, perhaps we should get back to the main topic. We've been off track for a while now.
Oh yes, there was that. Sorry, my friend. Well then, back to the main event. For that, I prepared a food. Shadow, how clever of you. You don't have to hide it any longer. That's something I arranged for.
My apologies.
Shannon quickly withdrew herself and the telephone was revealed.
Kudos! Call the grandchildren to the guest house. Tell them of the test and of the start of my class trial.
Ronabe motioned for Kraus to pick up the receiver.
And if I say no? And why do you think you're in a position to negotiate? If you don't make the call, then the grandchildren won't even be given a chance. The Ushinomiya family will end here. And I'll sacrifice you all right away.
You'll be lucky to become sacrifices right away. Don't you think it'd be more painful to watch the children get sacrificed first before your very eyes?
Gap, the master is the one who decides to sacrifice order. Don't say things on your own.
Liam, you just tried to shorten my name, didn't you? I did not! And I told you not to shorten other people's names on your own!
Woman, Julia!
I see. So true, Ronald. Well, I'm afraid I shall end here. Lots to think about. Lots to think about. The clinic that Nanjo had opened and later passed on to his son's sister. What? We're gonna meet little Nanjo Jr.? Okay. I'm excited for that. But yes, we're done for now. Read a bit more. I'm being held hostage? Okay. Just a bit. Just a bit. 1 second, let me fix something. Alright. The clinic that Nanjo had opened and later passed on to his son still existed on Nijima. This aged doctor was Nanjo's son, but the atmosphere about him was very different. Yay! Nanjo Jr. Let's go. This is exciting. Ew! Never mind. Nanjo Masayuki. Nanjo's son took over the Nanjo clinic. Unlike Nanjo, he gives a slightly dispassionate, indifferent impression. After the commotion surrounding Rokkenjima, he grew to completely despise the press and never again did he attempt to speak of what had happened at that time. He used to have a daughter who was afflicted with an intractable disease, but unfortunately she wasn't able to live out her natural lifespan, bruv. Okay. Holy moly. Hey, really? Really? I don't know about this one. So, okay. I came out of my hating to type, but then you said ill, so back to my and I go. Alright, was that it? You just wanted to see Nanjo Jr.? Yeah, okay. I'm glad I did. It was a jump scare. You can go now. Bye, bro. Bye to all. I guess you're allowed to leave. Not much of an outro, I think. It's just interesting. The revelation about Sile's identities is heavy. I will not worry about it at all for now. I am not going back to the murders to think of anything. But it's interesting. Very interesting. I do think there is a real life counterpart to Gap. Maybe it's Nanjo. Who knows? I mean, it could be Goda. They both start with a G sound. And if Kumasawa is down here, it makes sense that Goda also came down here. Curious. That's all I'm saying. Thank you for stream. I raged at Stems today. I enjoyed Umifo quite a bit today. Oh my... I don't
Whatever. I don't care. I'm out. GG's, and I shall see you all August. Farewell.